Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is Dr. Ryan Ledford, and the goal of this channel is to share practical leadership advice you can start using today. Now let's get to the video. And if you like this video, please subscribe, please like it, and comment below if you have any questions. All right, today's topic is discipline versus motivation. So, motivation is exciting. A lot of times people hype motivation. That's the showy thing. But discipline is quiet. It's the quiet thing behind the scenes that actually lasts. One feels good, motivation. The other actually lasts, discipline. So the first point I want to talk about is why motivation fails. Motivation, a lot of times, depends upon emotion, as intentions do, like I talked about in one of my other videos. Motivation depends upon emotion. Motivation tends to fuel off of energy. So depending on your circumstances as well, you have either a lack of motivation or a strong sense of motivation, but motivation tends to waver. It changes. So motivation depends on emotions, energy, and circumstances, which those things don't always work together or certainly aren't consistent. Life rarely cooperates, and you've seen that in your own life. I've also seen that in my life. So if growth depends on motivation, growth will be inconsistent. I'll say that again. If growth depends upon motivation, growth will be inconsistent. Why, you ask? Well, emotions come and go. They don't cooperate. Energy comes and goes. It's kind of a no-brainer at that point. And your circumstances change. And so if motivation is dependent upon those three things, you're not going to be successful and the motivation is going to fail. But what can we do about that? So, point 2, what discipline really is, and the difference between motivation will come clear. Discipline isn't punishment. Discipline isn't punishment. I need you to know that. The idea of discipline has many different definitions, and the one that we're using in this context is it is a consistent thing that you have, a consistent thing that you do that maintains your self-respect, that maintains your accountability to yourself. And so discipline isn't punishment. Don't think of it that way. Think of it as self-respect. It's respecting yourself enough to follow through on things. It's respecting yourself enough to ensure that you do what needs to be done, that you follow through. It's doing today what supports tomorrow, even when you don't feel like it. I'll say that again. Discipline is doing today what supports tomorrow, even when you don't feel like it. How many times have we done that in our lives where we get up and we have a low motivation, we just sit on our phone, sit on a computer, sit on an iPad, and don't do the things you want to do? Because the motivation's gone or it's low. Rather, when you have discipline and you cultivate that discipline in your life, you do what you need to do for today, for tomorrow, even when you don't feel like it. Self-respect, it's accountability to yourself. These are really great things to cultivate and to build in your life. So the next point 3, discipline as stability. Discipline creates predictability. In a previous video, I talked about a framework, and the framework I use, my 5 Bs. It helps my stability. It makes life predictable. It makes my choices predictable. And discipline helps me in that. Discipline creates predictability. Predictability then creates peace. It gives you a sense of peace, a sense of calmness, because you know I did the things I needed to do. I accomplished the tasks I needed to accomplish. Discipline creates that predictability, and then that predictability leads to peace. You don't need intensity necessarily. There's some different schools of thought on this, but what I'm trying to get at is we don't want these big spikes of emotion that lead to big bursts of motivation that then drop off, because that can lead to that trough of despair, trough of and like valley of uncertainty. So rather, what we're trying to do is make a predictable, steady, rhythmic life where you've got some little bits of up and down, but you don't have these big mountain tops and these very low valleys where you're getting into that depression state. So we're not looking for this, sporadic intensity, but we're looking for rhythm. We're looking for consistency, and discipline can help you in that. The fourth point is small, repeatable actions. Discipline helps you with the small, repeatable actions, and it builds a foundation so that you can continue your growth in your process and your goal setting and your goal achieving. Discipline doesn't mean doing everything. And I've talked about this before, where don't just add a bunch of things, because then you're not going to get those tasks accomplished necessarily. But discipline doesn't mean doing everything. Rather, it means doing a few things consistently. Discipline means doing a few things consistently. And over time, once you've built your foundation of discipline, you can add other tasks into that list of things you do consistently. And it may grow to a certain point and then it stops, and you only do certain things consistently, and that builds your capability overall. But discipline allows you to do those few important tasks consistently. And those small actions done daily, and they're quiet, but they shape your life. Those small actions done daily, they quietly shape your life. And discipline supports that. The framework that I use, my 5 Bs, be faithful, be disciplined, be trustworthy, be courageous, and be a great husband, that allows me to make the right decisions every single day. Those small actions, those daily habits, that helps me in my process, my daily life. So there was a lot with that. But the difference between motivation and discipline is that discipline's the slow, methodical, consistent actions. It's the quiet thing behind the scenes that makes life actually happen. Motivation comes and goes. It is rooted in emotion, and it is not consistent. So if you're interested in building consistency without any pressure, I've organized my ideas below, and in the description, you'll see my framework, my simple framework, the 5 Bs that I use. And if you want to use that to build your own, please do. Make it your own. Make your framework and make your daily disciplines, make them your own, so that you can use them and you can share them with others as well. And the information, again, is linked below. And if you like this video, please subscribe, please like it, and comment below if you have any questions. And as always, be faithful and be trustworthy. Keep going.